and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is finally part 2 of the BJD Basics series that I started 6 months ago. Y'all didn't realize it had been 6 months. I am so sorry for my delay on this. The fact of the matter is, I am trying to research everything very well, which I have to do in between everything else that I do, because I have come to realize that people look at me as a trusted source. So I want to make sure the information that I give you guys is accurate and it's good, because it's my name I'm putting out here on the line, and I also don't want to mislead anyone. So it has taken me some time to get to this part 2 of the BJD Basics, which is where and how to buy legit BJDs. Now, as a reminder with this series, it is going to be a 5-part series, and I will try to get the other 3 parts out in a better time frame. But this is part 2, where and how to buy legit BJDs. Part 1, acronyms in the BJD world and anatomy of a BJD, is already on my channel, and I'll link that video below. Part 3, cleaning and maintaining your BJDs, will be coming, as well as part 4, wigs, eyes, and clothing, and part 5, my recommendations for a starter BJD. That's a question I get asked a lot. But today's video is going to be about where and how to buy legit BJDs, because people ask me that question a lot. Now, before we get into buying legit BJDs, I just want to have a conversation quickly, in case you don't know about what I mean by legit. Legit means a legitimate, authentic BJD. There are BJDs out on the market that are not authentic. They are counterfeit. They're often called recast. I like the word counterfeit. They are BJDs where they have stolen a doll, or they haven't necessarily stolen the doll, but they've copied the doll, and they're making, you know, illegal copies of these dolls. And there are a lot of people, unfortunately, out there who really are pro recast or pro counterfeit dolls, and a lot of them are YouTubers, which surprises me, because I'm going to tell you, I've had a few times where my videos that I've spent a lot of time making, uploading, editing on YouTube, have been ripped and put on somebody else's channel, and I fight with YouTube to get those taken down. I can't imagine that all of these YouTubers out there that are singing the praises of counterfeit dolls would like it if I went to their channel one day because I was feeling lazy and I needed some new content, if I went to their channel and ripped their video off and uploaded it to my channel. I think if you think about it in those terms, they're ripping off someone's hard work. You're ripping off the hard work and the time and the effort that somebody put in to make a doll. And so I'm not recast friendly. I do not tolerate recast conversation in the comments of my videos. It's just not something. I know a lot of artists. I know personally, I'm good friends personally with several artists whose dolls have been recasted, and you guys don't understand the trauma that it causes these artists, because when they see their hard work going just being stolen like that so flippantly, it's disgusting. And I know how upset I get over my videos, and these are just videos that if somebody rips it and re-uploads to YouTube. Luckily, YouTube, when you alert them, they will actually take it down. Unfortunately, with these recasters, there's not a lot that they can do about it. So the best thing is to have education, to let people know not to buy fakes, don't buy counterfeits, and to tell people where to buy the authentic thing. Now, if you're someone that's had recast or counterfeit dolls in the past, just because you didn't know any better or you didn't understand everything behind it, Teeny Tinkers has a great video about going legit that I will leave in the comments below, or in the video description below, that you should check out if you're someone that has previously had these dolls and you want to go legit and you want to be supporting our artists and our companies the way they should be supported. So I definitely recommend checking that video out. But now on to buying legit BJDs. So there are 2 ways to buy. Just like with anything in life, you can buy new or you can buy used. So buying new, there are dealers. There are company direct, you can just go straight to the company and buy, or you can buy artist direct, and that's 3 ways to buy new. Buying used, a lot of times people will buy through social media sites such as Facebook or Instagram. I say proceed with caution on auction sites like eBay or Mercari. You can get some good deals there, but you have to be extremely cautious about what you're purchasing on those sites, because they are notorious for having counterfeit dolls on those sites. Also, reputable resellers such as, I don't know if it's Mandarake or Mandarake, I've heard it both ways. Also BJD collectors, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. That's a newer site that I've been using that I really like. So let's talk about all these different types of ways to buy legit BJDs. First of all, from a dealer. A dealer is a company that, you know, deals in dolls. They buy from the company, they bring it to their shop, whether it be physical or, a virtual online shop, and then they distribute the dolls to the people. My personal experience, I've used Denver Doll Emporium. They are located in Denver, and they're great. Fabric and Friends, I think they're in Maryland. I've used them, and they're great. Other reputable dealers are BJD Divas, BJ Divas, I don't know which way they say it, and Alice's Collections. As a matter of fact, I actually just used Alice's Collections for the first time last week because one of the scholarship winners, I bought her doll through the MU doll. I bought it through Alice's Collection. So that's my first experience with them. We'll see how that goes. But so far, everything seems fine. I got order confirmation and what have you, and they have great reviews. So those are dealers where you can go. And the good thing about using a dealer as opposed to the company is that the dealers will deal with all the issues with the company for you. They'll place the order, they'll ship to you. They'll also do layaways where a lot of companies do not provide you that layaway option. The dealers can provide that option. They're set up to provide that. So that's one of the really positive things about dealers. For example, Fabric and Friends, one of the things, a lot of people want to get smart dolls, but they want to get them on layaway. Well, Fabric and Friends offers a layaway for smart dolls where Culture Japan is not set up and they're not able to offer layaway like that. So that is one of the advantages of using a dealer as opposed to a company. I don't really see a lot of disadvantages. However, one that I've seen people say is that you may get the doll a little faster when you order directly from the company. So, for example, I have ordered all of my Fairyland dolls through Denver Doll Emporium. I have heard people say if you order direct through Fairyland in Korea that you may get your doll a month or a few weeks sooner. To me, it's worth it to have Denver Doll handle everything on their end and me not have to worry about it because the price is pretty much the same usually. So there's not a lot of price difference. There is some price difference for Fabric and Friends with them versus the Smart Doll, but that's a lot of overhead that they put into it for layaways and things like that. So it's not a lot of price difference, and for me it's worth it for the convenience to be able to go to their website and order. So that is dealers, and that's how you just go to their site, browse around. They're all very communicative. If you have a question, you can email them. They all get back pretty quickly, and so heard nothing but great things about these sites. If you have a favorite dealer that I haven't mentioned here, list them below in the comments so that everybody can check them out. So company direct, you can also buy directly from a company. My personal experience, I've bought directly from Volks and I've bought directly from Smart Doll. So I have bought directly from them and didn't go through a dealer, just bought direct, and I had no issues doing so. It was very easy to do. But when you buy direct from the company, you know that what you're getting is legit, and that's the thing. You want to purchase legitimate dolls, and this is one way to guarantee that you're getting a legitimate doll is by purchasing direct from the company or from a dealer. Other reputable companies, Fairyland, Eiffel House, there's a lot more. There's a huge long list. I've said before on my channel, I'm mainly focused on artist dolls. Most of what I have in my collection are artist dolls, so I'm not as familiar with a lot of companies, but I know there are a lot more companies out there. Dollmore is very reputable. MU is reputable. There's so many companies, or what are considered companies that make BJDs that are reputable out there. I couldn't list them all. I just listed two that popped into my mind that I've seen people have good experience with. So you can purchase directly from a company in order to ensure yourself a legitimate BJD. Artist direct, oh my gosh, if you've watched my channel, these are just some of the artists that I have purchased directly from. When getting an artist doll, I like to purchase directly from the artist just because with an artist, you often are able to form a relationship with that person. Maybe not much of one, but you at least get to talk to the artist. And something that I like to say is that doll artists are like my celebrities. These are the people that I really want to get to know and ask about their art and stuff like that. With the companies, you don't really get that opportunity, but with the artists, when you order a doll, you often can learn more about the person, learn about the doll making process, and to me, that makes the doll very special, and it just gives me a closer connection to the doll when I get to know the artist and I know all the work they've put into it. So these are all companies that I've bought from. You can watch my channel. Any unboxing I have, you're going to see. I don't have Goblin Tales on here. I just opened from, oh yeah, Goblin Tales is on here. I was going to say, I just opened one from her yesterday. Just watch my channel and you'll see, dolls that I've opened, from companies, and I can recommend all of them because I've had good experiences with all of them. I've never not gotten a doll. I've never, knock on wood, right? I've never had a doll get lost. I've never had like a serious issue with an order. So everything eventually has arrived. So Artist Direct is a great way to go. That's my preferred method. I prefer when I get a new doll to get it directly from the artist who created it. Social media sites. So now we're talking about used BJDs. So if you're going to buy a used BJD, you need to do a little bit of research ahead of time, and you need to make sure you're being careful. And I say that because you don't want to get scammed, especially if you're a first-time BJD buyer. You don't want to get scammed into buying a counterfeit doll. And there's a lot of great sites out there that can help with that. For Facebook, for example, there are lots of BJD sales groups. Be sure to look for one where in the rules it's legit only, no recast, no counterfeits. There's two that I really like: BJD Addict Sales and Commissions, Non-Asian BJD Adoptions, and there's various artist-specific groups which are run by the artists. For example, Kim Arnold from Trinket Box Dolls has her own group that she runs. Forever Virginia, her name's Virginia, has her own Facebook group that she runs, and it's, you know, those are places where you can buy dolls, and you can buy so with confidence. So various artist specific groups, you just check those out. My Meadow has a really thriving artist group. And then Instagram, you can follow the BJD sales tag to see dolls for sale. And you can often, and if you're worried about whether a doll you're buying is legit or not, ask somebody who's knowledgeable in the community. Me, for example, I get a lot of messages, so I'm not able to answer all of my messages all the time, but you can often ask, you know, you can ask for proof. You want COA, you want proof of purchase, you want to see the box that the doll came in. Now, none of those are absolutely foolproof, but for the most part, you can kind of get a feel for someone and feel if this is a shady transaction or if this is legitimate. So those are really good places if you're looking secondhand, and secondhand is good if you're trying to save money or if you don't want to wait for pre-order. So I have bought secondhand dolls many times when I didn't want to wait for pre-order. An example of that is I got this lovely Pasha Pasha original size girl. She was my first original size Pasha Pasha, and I didn't want to wait for a pre-order. I wanted her right away, and I put out a want to buy, and that's how I got her. And so, you know, I knew she was legit, and I was able to buy her, and it was really like a very cool experience for me. She came with her box, her original COA, and so I knew there was no issues there. She was also a full set, so I kind of knew from the pictures from the artist site what she was. So that is one place or one way to buy used BJDs. Now, there are some auction sites. Now, here's what I'm going to say. eBay. Be extremely careful with purchasing from eBay, as the majority of BJDs there are recast counterfeit dolls. If you really must buy a doll from eBay, find out where the doll was originally purchased, look for the COA, look for the original packaging. If the seller's not willing to give you that information, I would say run for the hills. Do not engage. Do not engage. That's what I would say. That's like a red flag. So be very, very careful on eBay. Same thing with Mercari. Just be extremely careful, because what you don't want is you don't want to end up with a counterfeit doll by mistake. It's just, you know, if you're a legit collector like I am, if you're of the same heart that I am, and if you have the same, you know, morals and moral compass that I have, you don't want to end up with one of those dolls. And so I would just say be very, very cautious on those sites. If it's your first time buying BJDs, I wouldn't even buy from there. I would go with one of the other methods that I've recommended until you learn a little bit more and you get used to some of these things. You just get a feel for, you know, as you collect dolls, you just get a feel for how this stuff goes. I was very lucky that when I started collecting BJDs, I started with artist dolls, and in that community, there were a couple of people that took me under their wings and kind of taught me a lot about BJDs and what to look for, and, you know, taught me about recast and taught me, you know, what it meant and all that stuff. And so not everybody has that, and so that's kind of what the point of this video is, to just kind of teach you about that and teach you where it is safe to buy from. So I would just be very cautious with those sites. Very, very cautious. Proceed with caution. Now, reputable reseller sites. There's Mandarake or Mandarake, again, I don't know how that's pronounced. They're based in Japan and they vet everything really well to ensure authenticity. I have not heard any stories of people getting counterfeit dolls from Mandarake. I can imagine that it probably has happened, but I have not seen that. I think they're very knowledgeable. Their staff is very reputable, knowledgeable, and they know what they're putting up for sale. So that's a site through Japan. I've actually never bought from them before. I have certainly surfed their site and looked at their offerings. And while I was there in Japan, I didn't go visit a physical location, which I regret now, but don't worry, there's always the next trip to Japan because I will be going back because that trip was one of the most amazing trips ever. But anyway, there's also a newer site called BJD Collectors. Now, this is one that I have used very successfully. The legitimacy of this is monitored by the community, not the programmer. So there's a guy named Dave that he is a programmer and he has made this site. He has two other very successful sites, one where it's reborns, that the reborn community uses that site intensely to buy and sell reborns, and there's one for teddy bears. The BJD site is new, so it's not got as much usage yet, but this guy is committed to making a great experience for us collectors, and he has, you know, those other successful collecting sites. I've talked with him several times about this. I've sold a couple of dolls on there. I've bought a couple of dolls on there. The cool thing about that site is, you know, there's a feedback system. It's monitored by the community, like the people that are there. We can look at it and we kind of see, you know, what's going up for sale. And then you're not paying eBay fees. eBay fees, y'all, right now are 12.55%. And there's also all these issues coming up with selling through Instagram and Facebook. If you just want to do a one and done listing, put your doll up for sale, this is a great site to use. I really like it a lot. So I think it's one that I hope more people in the community will start to embrace and use. And everybody's like, I think they think he's some kind of scammer, like, what's your end game, dude, if you're not getting any money? He wants to put advertising on the site. I mean, advertising, that's how I make money on YouTube, is through advertising, right? I have my ads turned on YouTube, and that's why I'm able to actually do a lot of the things that I do, because those ads generate revenue for me. You're not having to pay anything to watch the videos, just like you wouldn't have to pay anything to sell or buy a doll on this site, excuse me, but that's his end game, is he'd like to put some ads on there to make some ad revenue. So anyway, I think it's a good tool for us as BJD collectors to use, and it is fairly new to the community. So I really just hope that more people will embrace it. I'm probably actually going to list a few dolls. I've been like looking at duplicate sculpts I have and been thinking about like selling a few of them off, because here's a secret. My name just came up on the Natalia Loseva, I hope I said her name right, list. I've got my name on her list 2 years ago. My name just came up. And so I'm about to get one of her dolls, and I'm so excited, but they're not cheap. They're very expensive dolls. But I'm thinking about just selling a couple of dolls so I can send that wire over there. Even though I said no more wires, but I signed up for this 2 years ago. I really want this doll. So anyway, that will be coming. Make sure you're subscribed. But anyway, so, you know, these are all the places that I feel comfortable sharing with you guys about buying BJDs and what you should do. If you're ever in doubt, go to a community like on Facebook. BJD Addicts is a great community. Ask the question. There are so many knowledgeable people and so many helpful people in this community that are willing to help. Definitely, if you're unsure, ask somebody in the community. So I hope this was helpful for you guys about where to buy BJDs and where are good places to buy BJDs. And also, if you're not familiar with the counterfeit versus the legitimate BJD conversation, hopefully this gave you a little bit of information about that. And like I said, I will link all the resources below in the notes. I will also create a PDF of this slideshow, and I will put it on my website in case you want to download it, and it will have the links and all the information on it. So I will link that below as well in the video description. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching this. Please like this video, share it with a friend. That really helps the algorithm, and it helps my channel. And just thanks for all of your support over the years, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye. I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons from Patreon: Lindsay S., Leah W., Doreen Z., Janice H., Mercedes W., Cindy K., Bear Sunflower, Diane B., Kelly L., Cindy L., Susie W, Krista R, Victory Run, Shorna R, Shira Star Hobby, Stephanie W, Jessica S, Ray M, and Asia C. Your support means so much to me and helps me continue bringing you great dolly content. For information on how you can become a supporter of this channel, please see the link in the video description. Thank you so much for watching.